CBS Sports listed their top 5 landing spots for Trey Hendrickson. I still can't believe we are doing this after July 21st. Mike Brown came out and said, we are not trading Trey Hendrickson. July 21st. That's less than a month ago. Anyway. I think number 5 is Carolina. We talked about it earlier. For him getting paid, Carolina is probably the best spot just because he will get paid stupid money from Carolina. It's a situation where they're just not a good team. They have a lot of money and they can pay someone. So this is a situation where they could easily go out there and try to, give us way too much and then also pay him way too much. Now, again, them giving us something would be them giving us draft picks because they don't really have players that we would really want. Maybe Robert Hunt and J.C. Horn they could go with, potentially, those options. But outside of that, I just don't see the situation where they're going to give us anyone that is that good. Number 4, Seattle. Seattle's interesting. Directly 1-for-1, I can't think of anyone I would want on Seattle. Seattle, again, kind of like Carolina here. I'll say they're not a rebuilding team, but they got that Sam Darnold. Okay, they're somewhat rebuilding. Who do they have that's actually good? Obviously, their offensive line. Let me pull this up. They got Gray Zabel. They just picked up, but they're not going to trade this Gray Zabel. That was their first round pick. Although, listen, Gray Zabel for Trey, plus you throw in one other player and a draft pick. We'll give you Trey, Gray Zabel, throw in a draft pick, and throw in Byron Murphy. Never mind. We don't want a draft pick. Seattle, here you go. Byron Murphy, Gray Zabel for Trey Hendrickson. There you go. And throw in Jordan Love. I meant to say Julian Love. Throw in Julian Love, Gray Zabel, and Byron Murphy the second. We'll throw you over a 4th round pick and Trey. That's where I would go with that one. That's actually not the worst idea. Colts, we talked about before in the video, but the Colts really is, I would say, DeForest Buckner and Quentin Nelson. Give us DeForest Buckner and Quentin Nelson. We'll walk away from this. You pay, Trey whatever he wants, and then obviously Lou Anarumo gets Trey again. Quentin Nelson would fix our offensive line issue. DeForest Buckner would help us out of a D-tackle group. Then we got Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay mother-loving Packers. Shout out to Tom Grossi. Who did they have that we would actually want? Because this is actually someone, I think they talked about this before, Tom did on GPS, about a potential trade for Trey. Because they do need pass rushers. Now, the thing is, it's funny, because we would actually be trading them, Trey, for potentially a pass rusher. Offensive line, it's like there's no one I really look at and I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. I love Kenny Clark, but Kenny Clark is so old at this point. I don't know. I don't know who I would go with for the Packers. Yeah, Packers, I don't know. Lucas Van Ness, but he has injury concerns always, and he also actually has to perform this year just to keep his job. Sean Gary is a monster, but who's number 1? Oh, easy. Aiden Hutchinson. Trey Hendrickson for Aiden Hutchinson. Now, some of these trades might seem delusional to you, right? Might seem like, oh, this would never happen. Yeah, there should never be a scenario where we trade Trey Hendrickson. When a month ago, our owner said openly, we're not going to trade Trey Hendrickson. And a month later now, we're talking about after reports that they got very close to getting a contract done. Very, very close. We're now talking about potentially, oh yeah, maybe we trade away Trey Hendrickson. This is idiotic. It is. This is just outright just stupid. There should never be a scenario where this is happening. Less than a month ago. It's just not going to happen, and now it's going to happen? Again, I think someone commented down below, and they're probably correct. Maybe they can't put enough money in escrow to guarantee him the money that he wants. You got to figure something out, man. You got to figure something out if you're the Bengals here. You got to figure something out. And I get it. You know, it's easier said than done. I don't run a team. I don't run that kind of stuff. So, you know, maybe I don't. Obviously, I'm not going to know as much as the next guy. But listen, you got to just figure something out because this is stupid. You're a Super Bowl team right now. If we fix the right guard position, this is a Super Bowl roster if you fix the right guard position. And we're throwing it all away for what? Like, what's the point of throwing all this away? Just because, you know, maybe it might be that you don't have enough money in escrow. Maybe that's potentially. Like, it's just, and I feel like there's ways to fix that. I don't know. I feel like there's ways to get around that. Or maybe a player, I don't know. Like, again, like I said, it's just annoying. It's just honestly annoying. And this should never be a conversation we're talking about this late before the season starts. I mean, it's like, again, this is a conversation that happens back in April. Who cares, right? I don't want to say who cares. But it happened back in April. It is what it is, right? We kind of expected the situation to potentially happen back in April. We're in August, late August, and we're still talking about the situation. And this situation update is, well, we might get rid of the guy. Like, no, the situation should be, okay, you know, we figure something out. We're, you know, as it was a couple weeks ago, we're very close. We just need to get done the guaranteed money. Trey's at practice. He's helping out players. Like, this is just ridiculous. It really is. So, at the end of the day, what if Trey just ended up retiring? Again, this is not something we really think about or talk about, but he did threaten to retire like a year ago if he didn't get a new contract. What if he just retired in the end? Like, after all this, right? We just wake up one day and he's just like, you know what? I'm retiring. I give up. I don't want to play anymore. Like, after all this crap. In a way, it would be interesting because that would also take $21 million off the books. So that would be interesting. And also, I wonder at that point if he would just become a coach for us. Because, like, he would be, like, the best, you know, defensive line coach we could ever have. Even though we do have a really good one now that we just recently got. But it would be interesting to see if we could get him as coach as well. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. See you guys next one.